An MVP performance from the MVP to cap off an amazing, amazing win and an improbable win for the Seattle Mariners. What is up? What is going on, everybody? Welcome back and welcome in to the Seattle Mariners post-game recap. The Mariners defeat the Rays tonight 3-2. They improved to 64-53 on the season. They're a game and a half back in the AL West. I believe they're 2 up on the Yankees now for the second wild card, 3 games up on a playoff spot overall. Before I go any further, like the video. It's the most important thing. It helps it get out to more people. Subscribe. We're about 120 away from 5,000. Let's celebrate the Dumpers big night with that milestone. And then don't forget to comment your thoughts on the team and the game down below. Improbable, it describes it, right? I mean, this looked like kind of a lifeless loss. They happen. I wasn't going to be too mad about it. You still have a chance to win the series if you can bounce back and win Saturday and Sunday. And they still find a way in this homestand. Every year when something, when you have that season, right, that special season, there's that one homestand or one road trip that's just kind of magical. This has kind of been that homestand so far. They're 7-1. No, 3. Yeah, 7-1 on this homestand. Some incredible wins. They've mixed in some blowouts. It's not all close wins, but then they've also had games like yesterday, the Dom walk-off, the JP 2-run home run. Even Texas, the game they lost, they battled back, and it was almost kind of a magical one. They beat Texas on Sunday, and then tonight's game, maybe the most improbable of all. Not that being down 2-0 is insurmountable, but the Rays were just dominating them. Rasmussen was outstanding, as he normally is. He's a great pitcher. The Rays are good at run prevention. I didn't think this was going to be a huge series for the offense. Clevenger is great. And the guy that gave up the runs, Griffin Jacks, is good. The ERA is a little high, but he was a guy I was interested in the Mariners potentially being in on. And they were just shutting the Mariners down. Mariners didn't have a base runner to second base until JP reached it in the 8th. And then Cal gets his chance with 2 outs in the bottom of the 8th. And Cal's been slumping, right? It's been kind of the first stretch this year where I think some of us have been a little bit frustrated with the dumper. Listen, Cal could get 0 hits and reach base 0 times the rest of the year, and it would probably still be an amazing season for him. But he comes through, and it's what MVPs do, right? It's what the great players do. They rise to the occasion. They're putting some of the struggles, recent struggles, behind them and making it happen in just an incredible moment. There's always, listen, you can say it for, every crazy win the rest of the way is going to feel like a magical moment. But man, it's hard not to see a game like this as sort of something's good's happening in Seattle, right? Something special is cooking up when you just have these type of wins. It's 2022, that win against the Braves, right? Where they blew it, and then Gino and Julio and then Gino homered. You can just feel it, right? You just kind of knew that something was happening. And this win has, to me, a lot of the same vibes to it a little bit. Certainly much different situation, but just that, like, man, when they're winning this game, because we've seen them lose this game so many times, not so much this year because the offense has been a lot better, but just in years past, right? They lose this game 2-0. Maybe they squeak out a run and lose it 2-1. They don't win this game. And like I said, I wouldn't have blown up on them about it. Like the Rays pitch well. This is not the series where the offense is going to score 30 runs. This is where the Mariners pitching needs to be, outstanding. And then you squeak out 2-3 runs like they did. This is how you beat the Tampa Bay Rays, essentially. Lost a little bit in the shuffle. I hope it's not, but it may be. Outstanding work by Matt Brash in that 9th inning. Bullpen, Munoz down, Spire probably down, Bizzardo down. Brash steps up, gets the save, strikes out the side. I thought Lowe hit that one out for a second there. Made me a little bit nervous, but Brash ends up getting through it. 3-ball count to each hitter, but finds a way to strike out the side. And in a night when they needed it, Matt Brash stepped up and was outstanding. Good to see the strikeouts back a little bit for Brash. They had dipped a bit in July, so I think he struck out 2 White Sox yesterday afternoon and strikes out the side here. And the unsung hero tonight is Luis Castillo. Not only does he pitch very well, to go 7 innings after yesterday, the 11-inning game, Gilbert only going 5, you needed at least 6 from him, and he gives you 7. Yes, the Rays lineup, especially without Aranda, Yandy Diaz, is not very good, but you play who's in front of you. You pitch to who's in front of you. Castillo did that. He was outstanding today, gave him some length, and now the bullpen is fine tomorrow, right? Brash is probably down, but you have Bizardo, Spire, and Munoz all good to go. And Caleb Ferguson too, behind Logan Evans, who, you're probably hoping for 5 out of. So now you can do that. Now you don't have to stretch Evans for an extra inning, and Castillo was the reason for that. So not only did he give him 7 innings, he also pitched a very solid 7 innings. So that shouldn't go forgotten today. Mariners had 2 at-bats all game with runners in scoring position. They came in that 8th inning. Randy, I thought Randy actually missed a bit of a cookie. The pitch he popped up on one he should have made contact with, or driven, I should say, and then Cal comes through. They're just, it's tough. I don't really want to break down a box score because it wasn't pretty. Mariners offense was really bad outside of 1 at-bat in this game, maybe 3. JP and Cole Young do a nice job to reach. So it's what makes baseball so special, right? Like, in order to win a football game, I mean, yes, you could have like 3, INTs returned for a touchdown and stuff, or you can score 50 points and the defense can give up a ton. But like, baseball just has games like this where it can look lifeless and you win. I mean, it's just incredible. And that change can happen just like that. I mean, of course, I was standing up hoping Cal would hit that home run. Not that I was sitting there going, oh, whatever, they're going to lose. Oh my gosh, home run, we won. Like, but it's just to go from that kind of feeling to, especially when it happens like the 8th inning, because it's not a walk-off, but it's just like, oh my gosh, now we're 3 outs away from winning this baseball game. Like, where we've just looked awful for 8 innings. Is just an incredible feeling. I don't want to I'm not trying to rag on the offense. Again, the Rays pitching is outstanding. This is not a series you're going to put up a ton. Like I said, this is when you get those starts from Castillo that you got. Vargas does a nice job, shutout 8th inning, and Brash finishes it off. That you need the pitching in a series like this because the Rays offense not very good. If you can keep Brandon Lau and Junior Caminero in check, which, that's the 2 guys that hit the home runs tonight. And if Yandy Diaz isn't in there, that's a benefit as well. You should be able to hold this Rays team to 1 or 2 runs, and the offense has to do just enough. So don't get too down on the offense if they don't score a ton of runs this series. This is not the big run scoring series. It'd be great if they do. Some good news. Sounds like Josh Naylor's just day-to-day, and even could have pinched hit tonight. So I think he'll be back in tomorrow or Sunday. And Solano was fine today. Solano was one of the few guys that got to Rasmussen in this one. So, baseball is a funny sport sometimes. And then, I mean, even the way the game started, right? Dom goes to make that catch in right field. I have no idea why he jumped for that ball, but then he looks like he catches with his bare hand. It went off the wall. Then Lau homers, and you're like, oh boy, here we go. One of these games, and man, just incredible. What a night! What a night to kick off the Ichiro Hall of Fame weekend. As well as just makes it very special. Great crowd tonight at T-Mobile as well. Let's get into the box score. Like I said, already talked about Castillo. He was phenomenal tonight. Continues just have an amazing season. In a year where they've needed it too, right? The pitching has not been, what we saw last year. The Bryce Miller injury. Logan has been stuff-wise outstanding, but just struggling to go deeper into games. Kirby's been hurting off and on a little bit, but settling in. And, you've had some up and down from Evans and Hancock. Man, Castillo has been really a blessing this season for this team. And thank goodness they ended up not trading him, and not saying that there could have been a trade that would have gotten them some value. But, man, they've really, really needed Castillo this year. Vargas deserves some credit for the shutout 8th inning. I've been on Vargas, does a nice job. Like I said, in a day where you didn't have most of your bullpen studs out there, he comes in and gets it done. And then Brash, phenomenal, picks up his 2nd save of the year. Nice to be able to, on those days when you can have Munoz pitch and save Brash, or Brash pitch and save Munoz, always works out really well because you'll have one of them at least, available for the next day, which always feels like a nice advantage for the Mariners. Yeah, I mean, offensively, 7 hits, no walks. Said not their prettiest game here by any means, but man, one of those 7 hits was a big one. Actually, look at Randy 2 for 4. Thought he had some pitches to hit against Jax there, couldn't come through, but Randy a couple hits. Cal 1 for 4, the big one, the 3-run home run, number 43 for the MLB leader in home runs. He's just 5 shy of tying Sal Perez for the most home runs hit in a single season by a catcher. I'm pretty sure he's going to get that. I'm not sure how much home runs Cal will end on, but it'll be more than 48. What a moment. Just what a moment. Like I said, with Cal scuffling a little bit, it was great to see. Cal and Gino, I think, are the 2 guys that you challenge right now if you're looking at the Mariners lineup to pick it up a little bit. And I never want to, again, Cal could go 0 for the rest of the year. and he'd probably still be in like a top 5 MVP category. But if you look at this lineup the last couple of weeks, who are the two guys you'd say, come on, let's get going? It would be Cal and Eugenio, and Cal with the big hit today. Julio 0 for 4, Polanco 0 for 3, Gino 0 for 3. Not gonna lie, Gino's been pretty bad since coming over. But again, when you're in a lineup that's this good, you can survive it, and Gino will hit a hot streak here. Hopefully, maybe on the road trip, gets going a little bit. Dom was 0 for 3. Donovan Solano 2 for 3. Did his job. You didn't miss Naylor tonight. You do. Josh Naylor's a great player, but you know what I mean. Solano does his job against Rasmussen, gets a couple hits there, so that was good. JP was 1 for 3, and Cole Young, thought had a really underrated at bat in the 8th inning. JP gets it started, but Cole Young lays off a couple tough pitches. Thought he swung at a couple that I was like, oh man, could have had a walk, and then finds a hole there through the right side. So much fun. When JP and Cole Young are up and they're starting to rally, it just feels great because, I mean, they're good at the bottom of the order, but then you just turned over the top of the order where you feel great because then you've got JP and Cole on base. And you're like, between Randy, Cal, Julio, Polo, Gino, Naylor, someone should be able to get them in, right? One of those guys is going to find a hole and get them through, or put one over the fence in the case of Cal Raleigh tonight. So love when those guys are starting rallies. And I don't mean it as a negative, like, oh my gosh, how did they start a rally? They're good players. It's a nice little 8-9 bottom of the order there for the Seattle Mariners. You got a little pop from them. You got some good on base skills, and guys will put up good at bats and can absolutely get on for you, and get something started. It's just a magical night. I don't know what else to say. I swear, like, my videos are longer in losses because I think there's sometimes more to dissect, right? Like in wins like this, I don't know what else to say. Cal Raleigh with an MVP moment. Screw it. I care about WAR. I'm a WAR guy. I'm looking at F4 every day. I don't care. Give Cal Raleigh the MVP. I'm a biased Mariners fan. Just what a season. I mean, just incredible. And I think in the slump, you forget sometimes how good this guy has been this year. He's still leading the league at home runs. I mean, he's still clutch as can be, still behind the dish every day with these starting pitchers, helping Castillo pitch a great outing today. And just, it's just incredible, just incredible. So you're set up well now to win a series. Just got to win one of the next two. Tomorrow will be Boyle versus Evans, could be a tough one, but then you feel good with Brian Wu going on Sunday. And this Rays offense, listen, if Yandy Diaz isn't in there, Aranda's out for the series. It's certainly an offense that Logan Evans can keep in check for 5-6 innings. So not impossible there. And hopefully the bats score a little bit earlier tomorrow. But man, what a homestand. Just I'm out of words for it. It's just incredible. This is probably like one of my worst post-game recaps because I don't know what to say. I don't. I can get really philosophical sometimes on losses and talk about like, hey, it happens. It's baseball. I guess it's the same with the wins, right? Hey, it can happen. It's baseball. But I really don't know. Just soak it in, enjoy it. And 11 games over 500. In terms of playoff positioning, Houston wins today. That's fine. Just stay there. Get to September 1-2 back. Not too worried about it. You just don't want to fall to like 3, 4, 5 back where it becomes, you need some like really good stretches. 1.5 back. I mean, that's, play Houston in a series, win the series, and you're a half game back. And then I don't know who has the extra game to play, but boom, the result goes your way. You're tied. So you're right there. In terms of being 3 up, yeah, Cleveland's on fire right now. I think Texas is 5 back of you now. Tampa, keep them down. Good win too, because if they would have swept you here, then all of a sudden they're 4 back of you, and they're 3 back of you for a wild card spot. So, and then the Yankees lose. If Houston's going to win baseball games the rest of the way, let it be against Boston and New York, and then take care of Houston. Right? The Mariners keep winning. Houston winning doesn't really matter. I mean, love for them to lose, but you know what I mean. Like it's not going to hurt you, and you grow a game on the Yankees there. So. Even if Cleveland does sneak in, then the Yankees are on the outside looking in. I still think the Yankees find a way to get in. I just can't imagine that team doesn't. I feel like they've been pretty unlucky the last week with some bullpen stuff. So I do think the Yankees get into the dance. But I talked about it last week. Maybe they're just free falling. Sometimes it happens and you just can't come out of it. Mariners are kind of in the opposite right now. Just everything's going their way a little bit. What's working really well for the Mariners is they're winning the blowouts and they're winning the coin flips. And with the team that does have this much talent, that's going to result in a lot of good baseball over the final months. So keep it going. Give Cal that MVP, and let's see if we can take another one tomorrow. Starting to separate from that. We were hanging around 7-8 games over 500. Now starting to get 10, 11. Can they get to 12? So, man, the vibes are really good right now. So enjoy it. Like I said, it's wrapping up. There's only now 45 games left. I mean, after this next road trip, we're going to be in the 30s for this. So keep it going. Love you all. Like, comment, subscribe, and of course, go Mariners. Peace.